DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome back into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook preview show. We got 8 games here on a Monday to kick things off. A full 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. slate here over on DraftKings. So you'll know nice and early where you guys stand in your tournaments. Also benefits us from a news perspective. We do have 2 7 p.m. games, 3 7:30, and then the rest are 8 o'clock. So hopefully whatever injury news, and there are some that we are waiting on, will come through before roster lock for all of us here. We have some incredible matchups on this slate, notably Victor Wembanyama taking on the Chicago Bulls, $11,100, your second highest priced player on the slate. We also have Cade Cunningham coming off a 40 bomb against Minnesota. He's home against Portland. That one's looking pretty nice for us as well. So plenty to talk about in this slate. A lot of value to talk about in the slate. Dallas is without Luka and Kyrie. They get Memphis. We'll talk about what to do there. Grande, how are we doing, man?
Oh, we're doing. Maybe one day someone in my house won't be sick. I'll report back maybe next week that someone won't be sick. But we're doing, John. We're just doing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know what? You can't deal with the illnesses here when you have 2 young children. It's basically part of growing up, right? You just gotta work your way through that. Hopefully, you can avoid some of that, and we can roll ourselves on here into a new week. Monday slate, as I mentioned, Cade Cunningham's your top price point guard. He's got Portland. He's $9,700 coming off a huge 60 fantasy point game, a 40 actual point game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Then you got to go down to Jalen Brunson for your next healthy true point guard at $9,000. He himself is questionable. He's got Orlando. You got James Harden at 89, Lillard at 87, Maxey, Halliburton in your 8K tier. So talk to me about what we're looking at with Cade Cunningham, with no Jaden Ivey, and what he just did against a good defensive team. And then if he finds himself among your top overall point guards on this slate.
So to just the Brunson point, he's probable. So
okay,
Brunson probable. And I think that's notable because Towns is questionable. Towns got hurt at the end of that game that he absolutely freaking nuked.
He did.
And then there was it seemed like, you remember when the Suns was it 1 game 2 in the NBA finals and they had that video after where they're all working out after the game.
Yeah.
And then they went off and lost 4 straight, and Giannis became a champion and stuff. There was apparently that happening with Towns the other day after the game. He was just he had a rigorous workout after getting hurt and scoring 45 and whatnot. But I feel like Towns, very good basketball player, up there with the DeAndre Ayton cornball level players up there. But maybe not for this podcast, but anyways, love Cade. Obviously, Portland's defense has been just dreadful. I think in the month of December they ranked last. They were the worst defensive unit in basketball. So obviously, Cade, first game without Jaden Ivey, didn't look great. Also never got in a rhythm because he was in foul trouble the whole night. Barely played a lot of that. 29 minutes in a competitive game. But obviously nuked Minnesota. Probably no reason other than, people not paying attention that he's cheaper than he was after going for 40 and 9 and 6. Yeah. But here we are. So yeah, he ranks amongst, the top spend ups. And, there's a lot of potential value on this slate that a Wemby Cade or Wemby Cade, whoever you can get to. So love Cade. Scotty Barnes, beat us
95.
again. Beat us again if you want to beat us there. Yeah. It's fine.
We'll see if RJ Barrett plays in this game or not.
Yeah, worst illness ever. I feel you, RJ. I guess I know what it is. But you know what? I'm still showing with work. Jalen Brunson, if he plays and there's no Towns, I understand that Orlando is not fun to play. But if Orlando's without Jalen Suggs, which, TBD, but he did get wheelchaired out
Yeah.
because of a non-contact back injury the other day. Well, then, Orlando just outright lost to Utah by like 20 when Utah was resting all their starters. So what could a Brunson-led team, no Towns, look like? That would be very...
Yeah, that game's got a 209.5 total with the Knicks 11.5 point home favorites. So
Yeah.
not expecting many points being scored by Orlando in that game.
No, and like I'm not like saying it's like the best game ever, but I would, no...
Sure.
Jalen Brunson by himself is appealing enough where he can get us to, even if it is 210 points, he might score 40 of them.
Right. Yeah, no arguments. I like Lillard and Maxey with their prices as well.
Yeah.
Both, I think, really good spots. Obviously, Lillard dealing with Giannis at times, taking away some of his upside. But got to love the minutes in competitive games for Damian Lillard here. We also say this is a shot maker show. 21%, 30%, and 33% from the field. You're not making your shots.
Yep.
There, Mr. Lillard. So
yep.
If he could just make a few more buckets, you'd be having some bigger games. And then Maxey, again, always sort of the number two. Embiid's, again, too cheap on this slate. In 29 minutes, he had 55 fantasy points the other day. But you can always play Maxey if you want to. I don't mind this matchup for him against Phoenix.
Yeah, and I don't think Embiid sits, but he's there. I guess they're just going to list him questionable.
Always questionable. He'll be questionable the entire season, I think.
Yeah.
I guess the question: do they play on Tuesday? I guess would be the question. Is there a back-to-back in the Philly future? Let's see. Tuesday slate. No Philadelphia. So back-to-back front legs. Teams on front legs on a Monday. Phoenix is on a front leg, and that's it. So just had to worry about Phoenix there on the front leg of a back-to-back in their game. Got Halliburton's at 84. Giddey against San Antonio, $7,700. Quickly at 7K. Quickly gave us another double-double. Now came back. He's played 32 and 33 minutes. Double-doubles in both. Obviously was much better shooting the basketball against Brooklyn than he was Orlando. That sometimes happens. If Barrett's out again, even if Barrett plays, I think 7K quickly against Milwaukee, knowing he's playing 30-plus minutes. That game's got a 228.5 total. Toronto's at home. I kind of like Emmanuel quickly here. Yeah,
Milwaukee's really prone to losing to bad teams too. So this is another one that they're probably going to lose because that's all they do. I would say like of this tier, he's probably the one that stands out the most. Like we know Giddey has a ceiling. He almost triple-doubled again the other day. You could play him. And if you guess the day that Josh Giddey's going to triple-double, congrats,
26 minutes, floor game against Washington, faces the Knicks and goes for 45.
It's just just the most unpredictable thing ever. For just under 7K, Kobe White's been super good lately. 33 actual the other day, 9 of 11 from 3.
Yeah, we're going to want exposure to this game, not just because of Wemby in general, but just the total and spread on this one here. 236.5, 2.5 point spread. That 236 is tied for the highest on the slate. Dallas and Memphis is also 235.5. Memphis only giving 4.5, which I think is a little surprising, given no Luka, no Kyrie.
No Bane.
That's true. No Bane, no Ja. That's fair. No Bane, no Ja in that game.
Yeah.
So you have that. Speaking of, Spencer Dinwiddie, $6,500. Scottie Pippen, $6,200.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Pippen's minutes, but I have not enjoyed the minutes because this is not what the minutes were earlier in the year when people were out. So I don't know. Maybe if everyone's out, like Bane's already doubtful. I believe Kennard is out. Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. But I mean, at least 27 minutes last time, right? Like it's not bottoming out on minutes, so there's at least a potential there.
We're close. 2 games, the game prior, 25. Yeah. The game before that, 22. So we're close to bottoming out.
Simons is between them at $6,400. We always know he has an offensive ceiling at 41 minutes against Milwaukee as well. 4 straight games of 20-plus actual. We've talked a lot of Simons on this show, so certainly happy to get there. Chris Paul, cash games, feels pretty good. 1 for 9 shooting against Denver. not great, but had 8 assists. The assist numbers are pretty good. Outlier 0 rebounding game. You get him in Chicago. Feels like a spot for the bounce back.
Wemby had back-to-back 20 rebound games,
Yeah.
so no options to grab rebounds.
I didn't see what the final of this Lakers game was tonight, but Austin Reeves had 0 rebounds because
119, 115 was the final.
Yeah, Austin Reeves had 0 rebounds. That's because Anthony Davis had 13, LeBron James had 13. Like that was it. Nobody else rebounded on that team tonight.
Well, and Houston didn't miss any shots.
Well, that's that too. Yeah, can't rebound what doesn't need to be rebounded, right? Still a good game from Reeves, by the way. Almost double, but still. Anyways, back to Chris Paul. I think we have a bounce back game here from Chris Paul. I think
did double, by the way. 21.
He got the assist. Okay,
21.
Yeah, he did. There you go. 21 and 10. Another double for Austin Reeves there. Again, cash games. I'm fine going with Chris Paul. I don't know what to do with Brooklyn. Ben Simmons is questionable. D'Angelo Russell's questionable. Randomly, they lost like Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson for like multiple weeks.
Yeah, well, I was watching they interviewed Cam Thomas after the win. Yeah. And they were like, "How's your hamstring, Cam?" And he just kind of was like, he literally was like, I don't know. I'm just playing. And like,
do you think he's hurt or do you think he's being traded?
He re-aggravated the same hamstring for sure. Okay. Toast. And then Cam Johnson always sprains his ankle.
Minutes just caught up to Cam Johnson finally.
Yeah, literally like last second stepped in someone's foot and they had to leave the game. We'll see. The D'Angelo thing, he only played 14 minutes. Simmons was a late scratch. Yeah. He's the least surprising late scratch in the NBA. So
yeah, absolutely can't trust Ben Simmons at this point again. Back to not trusting him after we could kind of trust him for like a week.
I would say like if both those guys sit, Keon Johnson's going to play 40 minutes.
Keon Johnson, what's his face there? Martin played like 30 minutes in that game. Probably Zaire Williams who came back somewhere being there. Clowney, that whole crew. Keon $5,300 though.
Yep.
Do you just play him anyways? Like, is he only contingent on Simmons and Russell, or do you think like he's just a guy?
No, he's just a guy. He's just a guy. But I was just saying, like, I think that there's if there's not a lot of wiggle room if both those guys play.
Sure.
5,300 if they both don't. Like, he's just going to play 40 minutes in basically every scenario.
All right. Anthony Black DNP'd tonight after being activated. So
he did.
That was tough to see. Cole Anthony also wasn't very good, which is the Cole Anthony experience.
Did play almost 30 minutes, so that's like
the minutes are good.
Yeah,
I wrote up in the playbook he can shoot 2 for 10, and then he can shoot 10 for 20. It all depends on the day that you catch Cole Anthony there. So Jaden Hardy's kind of interesting. 25 minutes in that game against Cleveland. Didn't he start the second half over Dinwiddie or something like that in that game?
Or was
that the Houston game? Maybe
he started. Think so. I didn't think he did. I guess it just remains to be seen how they view him versus like Najee Marshall, because they're getting Najee Marshall back.
Najee's back, yeah.
And like we've seen them use Najee Marshall as like that secondary ball handler. So I'm not totally against Jaden Hardy. We know that he has a ceiling. He did start the second half. He started the second half over Dinwiddie in that game.
Against Cleveland or Houston?
Against Cleveland.
Okay, yeah, I thought that's what it was.
So, I'm not against it. I'm not like for it. I'm just kind of indifferent about it because the minutes will probably be solid. Didn't even play in blowout, which is kind of something that when in the past, at least when we played Jaden Hardy, we've banked on that he got taken out with, 4 minutes left and didn't get any blowout run. So that's not great, but
sure,
maybe that happens here. If it does blow out, I'm just a little indifferent about the play.
Lonzo closed over Giddey.
Yeah, they're going to do that, I think, moving forward because Giddey.
Back to just not playing defense.
Yeah,
But that has to at least stabilize some Lonzo minutes here.
Yeah, for sure. I think Lonzo's, if he's going to play into the 20s consistently, then he's like you said it the other day when he went 1 of 3, you're like, oh, figured he would have taken more shots. Well, he has, and he
Shot
is
maker shot.
just so good peripherally.
Yeah. If he just hits 2 threes,
Dude,
give
two
us a 50%
threes.
shooting night from 3 and we're cooking here. So.
Dude, 2 threes. And the year before, if I remember correctly, the year that he got hurt, I believe he was up over 40% from 3. 42% from 3 during that year. And the Bulls were like the 2 seed when he got hurt. He was at 42.3% from 3. Like if he
Find a
can,
stroke, and let's
bro,
roll. So.
anywhere near that again, and he's playing mid-20s minutes, it's a great spot for him.
Yeah, $4,200. I'm a big Lonzo guy here. Anybody else for you?
I don't think so.
Okay. Shooting guard. Booker's $8,800. Anthony Edwards is $85. Zach LaVine is $82.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't obviously I like seeing Devin Booker minutes back up after one game being back, 36 minutes last game, almost triple doubled. They are getting Tyus back, so probably not as primary ball handler ish as he was. Anthony Edwards, day after complaining or game after complaining about being double teamed, plays 44 minutes, makes all of his shots. They lose to Detroit outright by 14. They have a lot of issues. He has not been great for as much as he's talked this year. He has not played as well as he has. And I get it. Like, it's a coverage thing. He is shooting a lot of threes. He's making a lot of threes. I mean, 42% from 3 is pretty elite, but he's too good, I think, at attacking the rim to continue to settle for this volume. They have and the matchup is just drop Kawhi into that team, and now you just have a room full of the most annoying defenders ever. Terrence Mann came back like that. The Clippers are just going to be the least fun team to play against in the league moving forward. There's just no way that is fun for anybody. So no thanks on Edwards. Really liked LaVine the other day, and he's looked really good offensively of late. Talk about a guy who is increasing the trade stock as the days go by. The passing's been great. The volume's been great. The efficiency's been great. I mean, he is doing whatever he wants offensively.
Yeah.
Wherever he wants on the floor.
20 plus shot attempts in 3 of the last 5.
Dude, and they're all going in. And they're all going in. So
and you expect that against Atlanta and Milwaukee and Washington, doing against the Knicks. That's, I get the Knicks aren't the defensive team we always maybe expect them to be, but they have a lot of good perimeter defenders, and LaVine having no issues against OG and Bridges there. So good there. Bane, is he doubtful? Doubtful for that
doubtful.
game.
Yeah.
Beal 72, George, Norm, not really interested in that grouping there.
I'd say this. I know Embiid is going to. I almost have any interest in any of the big 3 for Philly because Phoenix has been so bad defensively. They cannot stop anybody.
He's at least the cheapest of the group, but
right. The shot's starting to fall.
His volatility is also the highest of them.
Correct. The shot is starting to fall. And in competitive games, obviously, he's going to play max minutes. So I'm not sitting here gonna Jon Snow versus everybody charging at me with Paul George, but I am I'm slowly getting online. I'm here Paul George window. I'm getting on that line. He's starting to look a little better.
Okay. Not to kill the small forward position. There's a lot of guys here that play dual positional eligibility.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're going to be rather popular. We can talk about them when we get there. Sharp's $5,700. Still playing a lot of minutes.
Yep.
No Jeremy Grant. Not that he really gets impacted there, but just a rotational piece that's out of the lineup. For him, Beasley, back-to-back 30-minute games. Charlotte and Minnesota. Missed all his shots against Charlotte. Looked terrible. Minnesota, again, I don't know what happened to them defensively in that game. They gave up 119 points to Detroit. Beasley cooked them. I'm going to just keep trusting. You mentioned Thompson didn't even start in that Charlotte game there. So
Yeah, it didn't start Charlotte, then started and doubled
yeah.
against Minnesota.
Yeah. So if Beasley's just going to get 30 minutes, kind of no matter what, with Ivy out of the lineup, which could just be his rotation, I'm just gonna keep swinging for the fence with him. He's too cheap for what his ceiling is.
Yeah, I think that's gonna basically be his role. I wrote that up in the waiver wire piece on fantasyalarm.com for seasonal. I suggested both Pistons wings, Beasley and Asar Thompson, but I think we're done with the Wendell Moore starting lineup experiment, and they're just going to go Asar Thompson.
Sure.
You scored 119 points in a win against the Timberwolves, and on the second leg of a back-to-back. And yeah, Beasley's just going to play 30 minutes off the bench and be their primary scorer off the bench. It's just going to be what it is. So you're going to get nights that he makes all his shots. And this is like, just new team, same Malik Beasley, right? It's like, just
he goes that Utah run he had last year,
2 years ago. 2 years ago, yeah, the 2 years.
Just unconscious for a month, just like hitting 5 of 10 threes for for multiple games there. So
yeah, I mean he's just a very high
40% from 3 on the year.
He's been really good for. Hey, you know what? Detroit, they won 6 games last year. Whatever they won, 13 games. They are good. Like they are legit. Like playing team good this year.
I like it. Grimes, obviously a huge game the other day, 33 minutes against Cleveland.
Yes.
26 actual in that game, back 30 plus and 3 of the last 4 at $5,500. Again, no Irving, no Luka. There is a returning Najee Marshall, so we'll have to see what that starting lineup ends up looking like, or if Najee just comes off the bench. But Najee was cooking earlier.
He was good. He was cooking.
So,
and he's not coming off an injury. He's coming off
fighting.
A boxing bout.
Yeah, we saw what happened with Eamon Thompson today, coming back from his suspension.
True.
26 and like 14 or something like that. 23 and 16.
23 and
for
16.
Eamon Thompson, 41 minutes in that game. So, yeah. Anyways, they got that going on for him here. We've talked about these other guys. Jalen Wells popped for 30 actual against Sacramento. Played another 35 minutes against Golden State. If they're without everybody again, I mean,
they are.
I know he's probably not going to hit 8 of 9 threes, but he is taking double-digit shots. So there's some upside there.
Yeah, I mean, no Bane solidifies that he's not coming off the floor, right? Like he's just going to play like max minutes. I mean, no Morant, no Bane, no Smart, no Kennard, no Aldama, no Vince.
It's like Memphis from last season.
It's literally Memphis all over again, dude. It's last year's Memphis, except this time they're the 3 seed. So like, they can actually win games without like their starters.
Where's our Triple G? Who's the
GG Jackson?
GG Jackson. Where's
coming back? I think he's gonna be back sometime soon. Him and Vince Williams, I think, are both gonna be back relatively soon. But yeah, I mean, I don't hate Wells. I mean, he's gonna play big minutes here, just with how depleted they are.
Sure. Dyer Williams here again. He played 22 minutes. Was good, but 22 minutes, maybe more opportunities for him if more people are out of the lineup. A lot of these other guys we've kind of talked about. You have Nembar, DDV, Tamani Kamara continues to be really good. I feel like I mention him every show.
You do.
I don't know, dude. Lock him in for 25 to 30 fantasy points. It seems like, right? Like, I don't know.
He is just a very good player. He is just a
good guy. He shows up, does a little bit of everything, and
he's an elite on-ball defender. Yeah. So like he's an elite on-ball defender. He's really good offensive glass. He's always offensive putback. So yeah, I'm good with 4,700 Kamara for sure.
Lynn Martin's here. He played 29 minutes in that game. 6 of 18 shooting. There's going to be opportunities for minutes for him with everybody out of the lineup.
6 of 18 shooting. Yeah. Holy cow, he took 18 shots.
Missed all his threes. So there's that.
Oh, yeah.
What did Banton do? Anything? Nah, 4 minutes. He's iced.
Yeah,
all right. He's done. Small forward. Interesting spot. Again, Scotty Barnes is up there. RJ Barrett's up there. Eventually, they'll have to move one of their positions because they both don't play the same time. Josh Hart had the triple double the other day. Again against Utah. has just 2 points, but gave us the double anyways against Chicago.
It's so funny, dude.
It's hilarious. And then OKC 19-7, 35. You can play him if you want. Again, it is a terrible game environment. He's averaging a double in 3 games against Orlando this year, 44 fantasy points. So
yeah,
if you wanna spend out for Josh Hart, you can. Kawhi came back, played 20 minutes, looked good, just 20 minutes. So can't touch that yet. Denny.
Oh, dude,
didn't come off the floor. 43 minutes. 48 fantasy points, doubles and back-to-back.
A lot of turnovers again, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Honestly, it doesn't matter. It hurts you more on FanDuel a little bit, but dude, if you're gonna play this many minutes, and Grant's out of the lineup here,
yeah, he's gonna.
No
reason. Yeah, it's just gonna happen again.
This is kind of runs the row here, right? You have Denny, you have Middleton, who's probable for this game. I think Middleton's fine. I get the up and down minutes a little bit here, but I do like Middleton in this matchup specifically against Toronto. And then every slate we have, Devin Vassell is one of the highest roster players on the board.
He should. I mean, and he played 39 minutes in the second leg of a back. So did up for me. He's good. Yeah, he's good. Yep.
He's going to be among the highest. Again, Chicago, 236 total. Going to wake up tomorrow. He's going to be 25%. Probably.
Yep.
You got Clay at 6K. Yeah, no, he's going to be out there shooting, playing minutes, covered opportunities without Irving and without Luka. De Silva, I think De Silva had a bad game today. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, they all had
3 of 11. Games. Yeah. Well, I highlighted in the playbook that he basically goes back and forth so far, right? Like good, bad, maybe good on the way? Question mark. It was very bad against them the last time. He was 0 for 5. So got that going for you there. Anybody else for you at small forward?
Yes.
Contra got 15 minutes in that game.
Yeah, LaRavia was the guy you wanted to highlight there. $5,000, 32 minutes last game. I mean, look, the 10 assists are that's a fluke. That's not like he had 10 assists. You can sure. On one hand, I'm looking, he's had no more than 8 assists in a game this year. If he does it again, he does it again. But if there's no Bane, you could even see a scenario where he starts. Maybe they do start Contra, maybe they don't. But either way, if he's going to play or have the upside to play that many minutes, then I do think LaRavia has to be considered at $5,000.
Sure. Again, you have Osor Thompson down here as well, 26 minutes. If he starts, I guess we'd be interested. 5 and 6 steal games in 2 of the last 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's chaos. I mean, 26 minutes is fine because this is what he does. He's great on the glass. He's great in the passing lanes. And he's great with his hands, like stealing. So the points are a bonus. If he's going to play mid-20s and start, then I'm in.
Yeah. Let's see. That's probably it. What did Wilson play? Yeah, Wilson played 33. That's Jalen Wilson, right?
They're gonna play. Yeah, they're gonna play him all the minutes again.
Haraby,
dude. Yeah, he cooked the other day. You could. I mean, he's 4,000. It's a great matchup. If he makes shots, you've seen it now in 2 of 4. Like he.
And the minutes are going to be there, right? And at 4K, like we kind of look at 19 and 17 fantasy points, like that kind of sucks. But that's also almost 5x, so it's not really killing you. And then he pots for 6 or 7x actually, and almost 8x in 2 of the last 4. So
I definitely
32. Quick math.
Yeah. I definitely don't hate it.
I got that going as 4 there. I mentioned Martin already. Champagne. Coffee had a really good game. I don't really want to keep biting on the coffee train, but
not with Kawhi back.
They started Houston. That's probably it, right? I'm not doing anything else here. They play Uvoven, did they? 21 minutes. I guess I'll have to see. See what that
I don't have much. I don't have many takes on this team. Until we know if D'Lo and Simmons aren't playing.
That's fine. Power forward. Giannis is 11-3 against Toronto. Again, you can play him if you want to at 31 and 11. He had 31 and 11 on a night where that was probably like the 8th best performance of the evening. So You know, this is crazy day on Saturday or whatever it was on
Yeah,
NBA.
Towns, Jokic, or Jokic, Towns, and
Wemby.
Cade and Wemby all. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Towns outscored Wemby.
Yeah.
And then Cade, I think, outscored Wemby. I
Yeah.
think Wemby was the fourth highest scorer of the night. Jokic
Insane.
obviously got the overtime and then went said, Wemby, eat this. You want to beat me tomorrow? You want to beat me yesterday?
I was gonna message you that. Like, I looked and Wemby had like 20 points and 22 rebounds, and he finished with like 20 points and 23 rebounds. Like, he did nothing for like the final like 5 minutes of that game.
No, Jokic took his lunch
Just
money.
took it to him there. KD at 93, I think, is too cheap.
Yes.
For what his upside is. So I would have no problem building lineups around that. You and I talk about this, and we're very transparent with you guys. You know, we're single entry lineup players, so like our player pools unfortunately get rather narrowed. You know, but if we are multi-entering, like definitely want to get some shares of Kevin Durant here against Phoenix if you're doing it. Same thing with Jaren Jackson. I mean, everybody's out, and then everybody else is out on the other side of that game as well.
Yep.
Like, this is primed for a takeover spot for Triple J here.
Yeah, we just saw it a couple of games ago in Phoenix, right? Like 38-12. And salute to Jaren Jackson Jr., who's kind of rebounding.
Okay.
No. He fouled out. No, he fouled out 2 games ago.
I was gonna say, don't say it.
No, there's no. I can't give him his flowers there. We gave him his flowers last time, and he fouled out the next 3 games, and then he just fouled out 2 games ago.
I know.
I think Cam the Man messaged me, and he said Jaren Jackson had no fouls at half and still fouled out. So salute to a
that's what I thought you were about to say. Because anytime we give Triple J his flowers, it's usually fouls. Like, no, you can't say it.
No, I'm not. No.
I
was going more the direction of the rebound. So I know tomorrow he's gonna have 2. So yeah.
Randall, you know, again, minutes are great. There's something wrong. I never liked the fit.
The spot is. I mean, the Clippers.
Yeah.
No, I am so out on anything against the Clippers, John.
Yeah, you got to find Siakam under 7K finally, but I'm still not willing to really go there. Even in the spot against Brooklyn.
The only thing I'd say, and I've been really curious about the minutes, and I haven't heard anything on the minutes front for Siakam. At least we got like back up to 34, but what in the world was 31 in a close game against OKC?
Yeah.
Obviously the 24 in a rout against Boston, but like the second Boston game was competitive for the whole night. Milwaukee, they lost by 8. Where were these minutes going? Like they just chose not to go to Siakam for these. So I don't disagree. I like the price, and I do think Indiana looks really good right now, spearheaded by Tyrese Halliburton, obviously. But at least the minutes are trending upwards over the last couple games.
Yeah, I'm trying to see like what they were doing here. The Milwaukee game, they played McConnell, Thomas Bryant, Jerice Walker, Ben Shepherd, and Mathurin in their second unit to start the second quarter. So
Jerice Walker played a lot. Jerice Walker kind of played those big shifts in that game.
So he's losing minutes to Jerice then, maybe?
Those are big shifts.
That's all I can think of.
Ben Shepherd, too.
His longest absence was end of first. He didn't come back until 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. And then he finished the third, started the fourth, subbed out, and then came back in with 5 minutes to go. And Jerice Walker played those minutes too. So interesting. All right, Denny's there. The Bobby Poe price is still up there. He's playing a lot of minutes still.
They have been like icing Brooke a little bit lately.
Yeah. Tough to ever get to him at $6,800 unless someone's out, but he is there. PJ 65. Sohan came back, played 25 minutes in that game. Toby 54. You were right on Toby the other day.
It's Toby in general. He's no Jaden Ivey. He's looked like a different player the last couple games.
The minutes have been there, right?
Yeah. Yep. The minutes, the volume, the rebounds.
Because he's not losing time to Thompson anymore because those minutes are just being redistributed around. So
yeah, I like the spot.
I like it.
He's gonna be one.
Yeah,
really
34 is a
popular.
great price.
Yep.
Clowney 49, 19 minutes against Philly.
So inconsistent. It's so inconsistent. The
I
minutes.
know. He's gonna be popular probably earlier ownership run like he usually is.
Yep.
Got Kim Martin there. Pat Will played minutes, but his offense is kind of fallen off. Can always throw Naj. I was reading a tournament of the Najee Marshall's 46. Don't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
But again, he cooked earlier this season.
Dude, he had the 4 straight games of 20 actual. So I'm not against it.
I'm looking at the numbers right here. Najee Marshall without Kyrie and Luka. Let's see. Kyrie and Luka. Luka, Kyrie. Usage rates. Najee Marshall, highest usage rate on the team, 27%. Fantasy points per minute. Leader is Gafford, 1.14. Dinwiddie, 1.08. Najee is 0.92 fantasy points per minute. So if he plays 30 to 28 minutes like his usual sort of rotational run here at 4,600 and you get 30 fantasy points out of him, you're killing it. So
What's our expectations starting lineup? PJ Washington, Klay Thompson,
yeah,
Derek Lively for sure. Those 3 for sure. Grimes, probably. I mean, Grimes has been really good.
Yeah, Grimes and then Dinwiddie.
Yeah. And then Najee's your primary
6-man.
Yeah, and he's your secondary ball handler off the bench. Kleba 7, Hardy 8, Gafford 9. That's your 9-man rotation.
Probably.
Dude, Najee has a chance to play a bunch in that.
Because he can play
probably 4, right? Because
he can play 4, I guess. Yeah. His primary is the 3 and the 4, obviously, but they can also shift Klay down to the 2.
Yeah, they can
and like play a whole bunch of different rotational sets with Najee there. And if he's hitting shots, they're not going to take him off the floor either.
Yep.
So,
and Grimes can be like if you play a lineup where or PJ or Hardy, like if you play Najee Hardy together, like both those guys can handle the ball, or like if it's Najee and Grimes, like Grimes can handle the ball pretty well too. So I think there's a lot of different directions they can go with Najee Marshall lineups. And like you said, highest user rate on the team. We were talking about it a lot earlier in the year. Yeah. He was really good.
What game were we watching where we were losing our mind because Najee Marshall was the one that was like doing all the damage?
Yeah, it was the one. Wasn't it the one game where he like came back? He was limited or whatever, and then he scored. Was it the OKC game where he like came? They were
maybe.
He's
I just remember
limited.
I think we had some fantasy investment in that game, and he was just doing everything.
I think it had to be the OKC game because he missed.
No, it was a Denver game.
It was the Denver game?
11 of 15. Yeah. It was the Denver game for sure. So I remember having Jokic in that one. It was the Denver game.
We're having Jokic.
He had 26 actual in that game.
Okay.
And that started the run of 4 straight 20-plus actual games for him there. Still, great option for him there. We've mentioned Keldon a lot. You've kind of called it out too. 27, 26 minutes the last 2 games for Keldon Johnson here. I know Sohan wasn't in one and then he was limited in the other, but
yeah, he closed over Sohan in this game. I watched Keldon Johnson have like 4 offensive rebounds in the Denver game. I think that's probably why also he like got extended a little bit because they just couldn't keep him off the offensive glass. He was just crashing from the corner. If he's going to be that active, then he's going to play. Absolutely no problem getting to him. But we do need the mid-20s minutes for him because he is it's like scoring, rebounding. You don't get anything else from Keldon Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, he's been very at least active, like the 17 minutes against Minnesota.
He has
13.6 rebounds, 20 fantasy points. So not awful.
He was also sub 4K in those games, and now he's 40.
Yeah, that's fair.
44.
Mentioned Harry Barnes. You talked Brandon Clark the other day, 26 minutes against Golden State. Did you run that one back?
Yeah, man. I mean, if he's going to play mid-20s, they're like, I don't know if they're intentionally bringing Edie back slowly from the concussion, but he's played more minutes than Edie in back-to-back games.
Anybody else?
You can always take a dart on Obi Toppin.
Okay.
Salute to sub 4K Obi Toppin's back.
Amen. Center position. Got Wemby, back-to-back 2023 and then 35-18 games against Denver. Now gets Chicago. You were like all in on Towns because you're like, dude, it's the Chicago matchup. He cooked them for like 43 actual the last time he played. Towns in that game went for 44 and 16. So Wemby has this matchup now.
Oh, Vooch is so fuck. Oh, almost slipped there.
Not almost. It slipped. It's okay.
Oh, he's so dust. Well,
yeah,
whatever.
Dust. Yeah, it's all right. We're good for one F-bomb all year. So, yeah, I
think you got yours. I think you got yours in there earlier in the year.
I got mine in 04. 2024. You got yours in 2025. Yeah, Wemby 11-1 gets Chicago here. Just cook him spot.
Yeah, he's dust.
If you want, this was the foul trouble game, I think, for Towns against Orlando last time out. 10-1 there. I still think Joel Embiid is just too cheap at $9,600.
Yeah, for sure.
So again, play any three you want. They all have ridiculous ceilings. Wemby's the obvious, I think, go-to here. So no problems. Where else would you look to go from that point on, though? Like, what's your next center play?
Just on the Embiid point, by the way, John, like this is exactly the version we got last year when there was blowouts every night and we were getting only 30 minutes out of Embiid and he was giving you like 55 fantasy points. Except during those stretches, he was like $11,000. So I couldn't agree more on him being too cheap. Man, it's just hard for me not to continue to just, even with Kawhi Leonard back, just not continue to just say Ivica Zubac, who even in a blowout doesn't play full minutes and just smashes. I know the two games, Wemby and the OKC game, they did just get blown out and he didn't play, but every other game he gives you 40 plus. So no reason to think he won't own everybody in Minnesota once again. You can always play Goga. He's going to play big minutes in this spot. 14, 11, and 31 minutes the last time they played. You know, he does not play against some other matchups. And also sometimes when Jamal Mosley just goes to the bench and he gets something he likes, he like sticks with it. But Goga obviously has a ceiling. I like Miles Turner in this spot quite a bit. Miles Turner's been picking it back up, 35 plus fantasy points in 3 straight. The scoring's been good. The 3-point volume and makes have been good. And we know he can block shots. So another guy that always has ownership attached to his name, right? Like Miles Turner is always rostered, and I get it because he has like a pretty good ceiling, but 6,400 is a good price.
He's getting Claxton. Obviously, Claxton only played 23 minutes in that blowout loss, but he had played 30 plus in the games previously. Duran 6K. Never know what's going to go on with his minutes. Isaiah Stewart's been playing a little bit as well lately, so like tough to really trust there. Edie's been limited. You got Lively at 53.
Yeah, I think that's a very notable. I think it's a very notable price point. Because he has a really high ceiling. And he has, again, they said this a couple times, the last month or two, but he has clearly been the dominant member of the split over Gafford.
Is Ayton questionable?
Probable. No, he's probable. Yeah, he's probable.
As I say, I got Rob Williams, all those guys in here. All right, let's get a lineup going. I'm assuming we're just going to try to build around Wemby in this spot.
Yeah, that's wide.
And then just play like, I guess we, play some of this Brooklyn. Someone's got to play, and it's like Keon's got to play probably, right?
Yeah, Asar Thompson 46 would be Toby 54.
All right, Vassell 61. So you got any other? You mentioned Toppin. What is Obi doing?
Well, I would probably rather play Clark, or for a couple hundred more, we could play Lonzo 42.
Yeah, let's get more of that game. I think there's more upside for Lonzo
because there's still no IO. So like Lonzo's minutes are going to be what they're going to be.
Yeah,
you could have played Lonzo at point guard too. if you want it.
Yeah, that's fair. Spell his name right. There we go. All right, 66.50.
You know what? I'm gonna wear my you gotta remind me. I'll wear my Lonzo jersey tomorrow to the show in support of Lonzo.
Okay. I liked quickly there. 6,300. Let's go Pippen, I guess. Go Najee Marshall. Do we go Najee Marshall maybe? What if you don't like Najee Marshall?
No. I was saying it, Scottie Pippen. He
go
makes me sad.
Najee. That gives us an 87 util.
87 util. That's definitely different. Levine.
Yeah,
Game stack.
Sure. All right. Ball, Johnson, Thompson, Harris, Wemby, Vassell, Marshall, Levine, getting a little Chicago, San Antonio game stack going on there with the high game total. Again, we'll have the playbook out from Grande. We'll be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Break it all down again for you all to get you ready for this main slate. Till then, everybody, good luck, and we'll talk to you later.